So let's proceed, shall we? I'm going to ask you a few questions based on our prior conversations. I did want to say there's an interesting one of your Pattyisms which I've pulled, which I thought kind of crystallized how you one of the things, the way you feel about matchmaking and what you do and how you're a little bit different as a matchmaker, I think. So I'm just going to read this Pattyism. So this is a Pattyism. Patti said, my favorite client is probably the heavy hitter. He's the billionaire on the go. He's the whale you see in Vegas. He's closing the pit and doing $25,000 hands, and he lives large. He is the most opinionated person. He's difficult to work with. He's the stallion that cannot be tamed. He's often a player. And I'm here to create him and make him a stayer. What's a stayer?
That is so true. What I said that, God. A player doesn't become a man until he becomes a stayer. So a player's that guy that's always looking for bigger, better deal, always trading up. And then he hits a certain age, he starts to slow down like a George Clooney, and he goes, whoa, like immortality starts to hit him and goes, he realizes he's not immortal. I'm kind of tired and I want kids and I'm now hitting 40 something and I don't have a child and he wants a baby by Tuesday. But the difficult part is he's never satisfied because no one ever said no. Now here's the weird part. The unattractive ones, like the zeros, the twos, the threes, they want the tens. But the guy who's really good looking, who's a player, like an 8 or a 10, he doesn't want the tens. He'll take an 8 or a 7. So it's kind of interesting depending on the level of attraction and physicality, where the player goes. But they're the most difficult. They're the most rewarding. And when they get married, you feel like you really, you're getting major credits in heaven. That's all I can say.
How do you get into somebody like that? What kind of questions do you ask people, and how do you play it so that you can really influence that kind of character and help them find what they really want and need?
Well, I'm kind of a non-sexual dominatrix, I would call myself. So I get in there and I go deep. Now I'm intuitive. I'm clairaudient. I hear a voice. I have sensory perception of your past, your childhood. I can pick up things that nobody can pick up. You saw that a Millionaire Matchmaker in my intakes. Like I'll see whether you were, like I saw with Claudia Jordan, she was raped and her father abandoned her and nobody knew it and I saw it. So I'm picking up intuition. I'm reading his body language. I'm feeling his energy. Sometimes I don't even need to ask a question, but as he talks, I'm picking stuff up and I'm figuring out what made him go on this path to destruction, because it's a soulless path. He's not going to find happiness at the end of the rainbow if he keeps going that way. And then I ask questions about his childhood, his past relationships, his mother, his father, what went wrong in his relationships, why is he so picky-wicky, pictures of ex-girlfriends. I've talked to the ex-girlfriends. They've explained a lot to me. I've gotten them on the phone, and I clean them up from there. We got to create a soul.
That's fascinating. You talk to the ex-girlfriends. That must be a big reveal.
Oh, we always talk to the ex. We always bring the exes in, especially the one that got away, if there is one, because sometimes I fuse the one that got away. And if I create him as a soul and a man, then what happens is she might like him again because now he's the dream guy that she didn't get. But remember, there's millionairesses. They're just as bad. And they're whales. They're just female. And then there's gay. I do a big gay community, LGBTQI. I'm really into that community right now. I want to do more lesbians, but I end up doing mostly gay men. And we really are trying to do transgender right now. We're trying to help the community. I'm trying to get as many people into my database that's transgender to help them right now.
Let's talk about that.
And bisexual and fluid.
Yeah. Okay. So you run the Millionaires Club. And I think what's quite interesting about your club is that you charge some and it's free for others. Can you explain how that works?
Okay. Well, if you're a millionaire or a multimillionaire or billionaire, you pay me. There's different levels of membership, which suits your needs. You pay me X and you get unlimited dating for 14 months. And the last 2 months you get a freeze. You could freeze anytime if you meet someone, you're traveling, you're in COVID and you're working your ass off and you can't date. So you get that, but that means you're guaranteed dates. The people that registered aren't guaranteed dates. They're in my system. If their number comes up and they win the lottery, they get a date with the client. But the client is the one that pays me. They want me to advocate for them. They want me to fix them up, because we do, our database is the largest database in the industry on the matchmaker side. So we basically fix you up from there. But if it's not in there, we'll find it. You know, I have like celebrities calling me. I want to date other celebrities. It's not very hard. I just pick up the phone and call. So, but every now and then we get a weirdo, you know, who comes in, I'd say a little off the beaten path, and he's asking me for something really unusual, and it depends whether or not I'm going to take him. I have a staff of matchmakers. I have a vice president who runs my company, and they have their own clients too. But we're a boutique. We're not Match.com. Our dream is to really make an app. I want to make a dating network in the future. Like a streamer, like Netflix for dating. And that's really my dream right now, to take it from the level of the app to the next level, where we are the streamer of the app that cares. We care whether you get in a relationship or not. And matchmaking is going to help you get there, because matchmaking needs to stay, but the apps need to make an alliance with us. You know, 3-Day Rule tried to do it with Match.com, and they fucked up. Let's be honest, they fucked up. Excuse my French. But I was like, this is a great idea. You know, somebody wants to spend $5,000 on Match.com to get a personal matchmaker. I love this idea. So they messed up because they didn't have the database or the bandwidth to actually go into each other's streamer to help them. Now, I'm helping Millionaire Match do that. Sometimes every now and then I get a client from them and I assist them, you know, and they go into my database.
So we've seen a couple of instances of sizable dating companies doing matchmaking. Of course, there was eHarmony some years ago. They had a run at it.
Right.
They hired some matchmakers. There was Match actually hired 5 matchmakers out of Dallas some years ago, and they invested into 3-Day Rule.
Right. That was 3-Day Rule.
What would you have done if that was your product, your integration, your way of playing?
Okay. First of all, I'm not putting, if 3-Day Rule is on the system today, I am not putting you down. That's not what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I have a system of matchmaking that I have never been sued from a client. I need wood, somewhere in wood to knock on, paper's wood. And that's because I know exactly how to handle those clients, those difficult ones, especially the women. They're insane. Everybody here knows that women are the sewers in our industry. I don't need to tell you that. So I have a system that I use, and I train. I teach at the Matchmakers Institute with Lisa Clampett. She was my ex-assistant. She was trained by me. And we have a system that we do so that you don't get in trouble, but you actually make 2 people come together and are happy, and you want to dance at their wedding. I would be training them and putting them on all these platforms, and they'd get extra money. Like, there's 3 ways to do this. There's the regular swipe left, swipe right. Who cares if you ever find anyone? But then there's the matchmaker who cares, that says, I'm going to find you someone. What you do with that person is up to you. I can't make someone fall in love with you, but I can introduce. And then the 3rd level is the back end, which is awful. There is no face of an app or dating site, okay? And I don't mean Dr. Phil, because he wasn't single, he wasn't in our industry, and I love my Dr. Phil, but it wasn't appropriate for our industry. Second of all, where's the back end to tell you how to make a profile, how to put a picture up? If I see another man with sunglasses and a cap who won't own his baldness, you know, or, you know, is at the airport, doesn't live where they're supposed to live. Like, it's so antiquated. Women are frustrated. There's more women than men, okay, in the United States that are single, and they are frustrated. So the 3rd is the back end product. Date coaching, like you see on YouTube, uploading those to the apps, teaching you how to do how do you ask a girl out? I'm on Clubhouse every day. I'm doing Damon from Shark Tank tonight. And last week we had 3,500 people in a room in my Clubhouse, 2,000 in his room the other night. And everyone's asking me, what do you say? How do you get from point A to point B? How do you get the ring if you've been with someone a year? There's no information on these apps. This should be a portal to relationships, whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship and you can't get from one street to the other. But there's nothing.
So how to tailor their advice?
You could be making a fortune on the back end.
To make it timely and really tailored.
What?
How to make that advice timely and tailored in the environment of a dating app. I mean, how to. I mean, that's the beauty of a matchmaker, really. I mean,
well, I mean, like, right? Because if you have matchmakers like us on the system, Marie's in the room, she knows what I'm talking about. You would be getting 10 times more money. You would have satisfied customers. You told me when we were talking about doing an app together, when we were talking to Marcus from Plenty of Fish, you said to me, the biggest problem is the no-show. And I said, no, that's not the problem. The problem is finding the person. Because if the person is right, they will show up, whether it's FaceTime or in person, even in COVID, with a mask. It's the connection. We're dating on the fucking subway right now. I went to college. Some people have master's degrees. Why would they want to date, the blue collar worker who doesn't understand what they're talking about? We're missing the boat. It's like, I don't want to go through 1,000 swipes on Tinder to find one guy and then find out he's a fake profile or 50 million women are chasing him. You see what I mean? We're not fusing it. It's a great concept, but it's not quite there yet.
I think one thing to bear in mind, as a matchmaker, your incentive base is very different from an internet dating incentive base. I mean, your incentive base is to have a client, make them happy, and get them off the book.
Yeah, because they wanted to.
Ultimately.
But that's the key. If you had a client who was happy and did it, and the spokesperson, look, my best friend met his wife on Raya.
On which app?
People go, how did he do that? Raya has nobody local. One of my best friends met his wife on Raya.
Oh, Raya, right,
okay?
yes.
And we were supposed to go to the wedding this year because Raya, okay. So he's like, can you believe that? How many people do you know that met on Raya? Not a lot, okay? And it's a small app. It's not a lot of people on there. A lot of celebrities, things like that. And I said, it's just a coinky-dink that this had happened. In fact, he didn't even like her on the first date. It was a weird little thing. But the thing is, if a matchmaker was there advocating and putting the matches together, you would have more happy people, less lawsuits, and more users would come on that way, as opposed to just like, let's advertise, let's just get bodies, let's just get super likes and boosts. Who fucking cares if they ever find love? Okay? That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. You can be better and you can make twice as much money if you did our way, truthfully. And Marie's in the room, so I know Marie's going, go, Patty, go.
There's another quote here which looks quite timed. I'm going to say another of your Pattyisms, and that is, you said, most people can't find love because they overanalyze. They're ultra picky and they find things wrong in people.
Yes.
We call them flaw finders. That's intriguing. Can we unpack that a bit?
Yes. Flaw finders or fault finders, whichever one you want to use, are people that are not happy with themselves. They don't feel good enough. So the core is, I'm not enough. One of my best friends is a very famous hypnotherapist, Marissa Peer. She's the #1 therapist in the UK. She helped Princess Diana fall in love with Dodi. And she realized when she was doing her research that I'm not enough is a mantra that's running in everyone's subconscious. So if I keep saying I'm not enough, I'm going to find a fault in you, which gives me the self-fulfilling prophecy that I'm not good enough, so therefore, why should I find love? Did you just get it? It fuses itself together. So I pick people that are great, and then I find a fault, and I have an excuse to get out. And then this is a constant, it's a loop. You're on a loop. And you have to break that pattern because it's the worst pattern. And the more money you have, the more fault finding you do.
I think people fall into a pattern of becoming perfectionists in the context of dating. Most of their life they're satisficers, but when it comes to dating, they've seen the movies and they're expecting a certain thing. When it comes to going off into the sunset, which makes all of our jobs relatively difficult, really. But at the end of the day, part of our role, I guess, could be to educate people and kind of help them. I think what matchmakers really do a good job of is helping set expectations. Right. One of the things that you do is you sell clients on each other. We can't do that, really. We don't do that very well. So, but when a matchmaker is matching someone, that other person is getting a clear handle on what the match points are, what the things are, the reason that you've matched them, right? And that's huge.
A matchmaker on an app, if they were working together, would create the profile and get the pictures. So 50% of the problem is the presentation that they're doing. No one teaches them how to write anything. On Tinder, they're not required to write anything. You don't have to write anything on Tinder if you don't want to. So the problem is if the foundation of the house is solid, we build the house, it's not going to fall apart in a hurricane or storm. So that's the key. The key is the entry point. They're all messed up. Then you go from there. And if a matchmaker's on the case for a year and they're getting paid for how many months or whatever the thing is, and you're on an app, you're counseling them. So like for my clients, and I take some clients, and Erica takes some, and Danielle and Lisa, my other matchmakers, they have my bat line, my cell phone, and they can call me anytime. But I'm pretty fast. I have one today, actually, where I'm going to and it's one of my gay clients, and he's a fault finder. We have given him amazing men, and he knows it. He says, I know it's my problem. So today's call is me fixing fault finding. You know what I mean? So we do that. And that takes if all they want to do is be heard. They want to vent, be heard, and figure out what they're doing wrong. And if they're not sociopathic or narcissistic, they're going to listen to me. You know what I mean? Or listen to my staff. So if you had a system like that on an app or a dating site, an in-house counselor or whatever, they're going to love that. They're going to eat it up. Telemedicine is fucking huge right now. I can't tell you how many psychologist friends, how many people, date coaches and relationship counselors are counseling right now online, telemedicine wise, or just regular, date coaching, because people want to vent.
What do you think of Relationship Hero?
It's really interesting.
There's an app, I think, Relationship Hero, and they have coaching for people on their relationships. It's an app.
Site, Relationship Hero. Okay, yeah. I don't know anything about that, but that sounds like a great idea, though.
It sounds like, the thing that you're doing that we're not is this kind of counseling element, which is hugely tailored. It's a very difficult thing for us to scale. And we're all about scale, right? We're not dealing with tens, we're dealing with millions of people.
Well, that's an upsell. But Mark, that's an upsell. In other words, this is for the VIPs. There are VIPs on your site that you are not servicing who will spend extra money for the extra encouragement, fixing the profile, helping them find love. Look, I go into the accounts. My clients pay me. There's a whole membership we have just for online dating. I go into the accounts. I fix the profile, I get the pictures taken right, and then I'm Cyrano, and I'm talking to the people back and forth. My staff does that. We do that all the time. And if you want to just pay me for online dating and not my service, that's fine. We have a membership for you, and we go in and we do that. And I can't tell you how many people have dates.
So how do you think the dating industry can work with matchmakers right now? What would you like to see happen?
Well, first of all, I think, like I said, I wanted my own app. I told you this the last time we talked. I said, I want artificial intelligence with my voice, because once they say, hey, you've gone 3 times back and forth on texting, ask her out, get her number, call her today, set a time. No one's doing that. So a matchmaker can do that. They can go or you can put an algorithm in the system and say, let's go. She's going to lose. You're going to lose her. You're going to lose him if you don't answer him back. Same thing. Is it gay, straight, pink, polka dot? It doesn't matter. I think that. I also think helping them find the quality one, going into the database of the people and helping them find that person based on the algorithm. Like all the algorithms online with me right now are going south. I live in Marina Del Rey in California, and I'm getting Long Beach. I don't want to date anyone in Long Beach. So they're not giving me Beverly Hills or Palisades. So I asked my friends, are you getting a south algorithm instead of north? And they go, yeah. And I go, why are we not getting these other cities? Yet if my friends live in Palisades, they're getting Palisades or Beverly Hills. And I said, this is so messy. It's like I almost want to go into their database and go pick out who I want and say bye-bye to the rest. So there is that too. I also think that personal attention always makes you more money. Always. Great Expectations had it when I worked there and I ran it. We had a personal service which gave you extra bump. Go in the library, we'll look for you, we'll find you XYZ. So why not do it online? And I think people want to be coached. They want to come back from the date and vent. They want to go, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What matchmakers do is they can check in on both parties and find out the truth. And subtly let someone down or tell them he had a great time, she had a great time, ask him out again. We get the dirt from both sides. You can't do that on a
You get the job of sugarcoating as well on occasion. Although I'm not sure you sugarcoat so much.
Right. So, no, I'm like, we're pretty honest because we say if someone doesn't like you, we're going to fix you up again. And I had that yesterday. I had a very famous client, a celebrity, decide he didn't want the girl. And then I love this girl to death. So I just gave her somebody even better. And she's like, oh my God, this is the best service. she went on Clubhouse and talked about it, because she said that, like, I was right in there, Johnny on the spot. We check in on our clients. No, a lot of matchmakers don't. I know that I get complaints from other services, they don't check in. You know, we do. We're checking. And normally, if you don't call us, we know you're happy and you're leaving us alone, is because you're happy with your date. Like, I have a very famous football owner who I fixed up with one of my best friends, and he sent her a $6,000 bracelet on Valentine's Day. Hasn't even met her yet, only FaceTime with her and roses. And like he said to me yesterday, I'm done. This is it. Third date.
Congratulations. Nice.
Done.
That's the idea.
Very
I do feel like we're leaving money on the table, really. There's a lot more value we could be delivering, and that's demonstrated through the services that you provide. It's the following up after the date. It's like, why isn't that person going to call back? I was like, that's very upsetting in our environment. I mean, there is a complete, that's just gone. There's no feedback. Mm-hmm. So the mere fact that you're providing feedback is huge.
And then you get this app sucks, and then it goes they tweet it, and then they Instagram it, and then they go, if they're famous influencers, they go on the news and talk about it. But it's not the app. I always tell people, don't blame the friggin' app. The app has a great system. It's up to you to navigate it right. It's tough. A lot of people are chasing the good quality profiles, and you just got to wait for your number to come up. But also your presentation might be off. You might be nasty. I've had nasty people. I've had people send me dick pics. I have people harass me. I got thrown off the app twice on Match.com until they realized it was really me, because they don't verify celebrities. And they apologized to me, and I showed them what happened. Yesterday, one of my girls from Clubhouse said that she was racially slurred on the app, and I said to him, when that happens, report it to the app. The app police have to take care of that. This is not acceptable. So, men get really mad when you reject them, and they go postal, and you have to block them on your regular phone. So there's a lot of stuff going on like that. A lot of nasty shit also. But I think a lot of the apps do like a really good job of policing, because I know like Hinge and Bumble and Hinge were really good at that. They really police well. They don't take shit. Bumble's really good at that. But the thing is, I think that personal attention is something you're never going to be able to get rid of, because they want personal attention and they can't afford me necessarily. So they want a little bit, they'll pay a little extra money just to have someone to vent, talk to, and coach them along the way. And then, of course, back-end coaching is videos. They're products. You make these products. You go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, whether it's 20 minutes, 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, and then you sell these to all those users. You could be making a fortune. A fortune. Gotcha. It's ridiculous.
So, Patti, how can the industry work with you? What would you like to see from us?
That's passive. By the way, I would love to do a program with one of the apps or dating sites. I'd love to be the face of one. I'd love to have my own app, my own network. I want to do a dating network, which is a little different, a membership program plus the swipe left, swipe right. And, I told you this. I'm looking for a partner to do this with. I said I wasn't ready before. I only wanted to do private matchmaking, and now I'm ready. And I own the Millionaire Matchmaker trademark. So there you go.
Gotcha.
Internationally.